Recently, Elon Musk made very interesting statements. He publicly critiqued Twitter and talked about problems that the company currently has. Then he went on Twitter and made a bold prediction, saying that Tesla's stock performance has nothing to do with his Twitter decision, and it was all about lies that he faced. Furthermore, we finally have a date for this legal battle. With that, shocking details were released about a private conversation between Elon Musk and the Twitter CEO. And as we will show you, that was a point after which Elon decided not to buy the company. Twitter went ahead to sue Elon Musk for backing out of what was considered a done deal acquisition of the company, but the Twitter management wanted a short 4-day trial. However, Elon's lawyers pushed back against Twitter's request for a speedy 4-day trial in September. Things don't really look good. Musk's lawyers decided to file a 14-page document to the Delaware Chancery Court to reschedule the trial for some time in the next year. They stated that an extremely rapid schedule for a case of this magnitude seems pretty inappropriate. Musk's legal team followed up with the fact that Twitter's sudden request for a warp speed after 2 months of stalling, obfuscation, and foot dragging is part of their newest tactic to conceal the truth about spam accounts on their platform. In all honesty, everything seems pretty fishy about the case on the surface, and we're clueless as to where it's headed. With that said, Twitter is pretty adamant about bringing Elon Musk to trial. They've once again asked the Delaware court to speed up the process to protect their shareholders and the company from the foreseeable harm that could be caused to the company in this legal process. Musk made some very bold claims about Twitter's platform, stating that fake users and spam accounts account for at least 20% of the Twitter user base, or possibly as high as 90%. But Twitter denies Musk's allegations altogether and claims that Musk is using unfair tactics to reveal information and tank the deal as a whole. It was sometime back in June of 2022 that Musk accused the microblogging website of trying to breach the merger agreement. Twitter threatened to walk away and call for the acquisition of the social media company as a whole, as they refused to provide the relevant data he asked for on spam and fake accounts. Musk claimed that Twitter is trying to actively resist and trying tactics to do their best at thwarting his information rights, which were all previously outlined in the Twitter-Elon acquisition deal. Musk asked Twitter to turn over information regarding its testing methodologies to support its claims that bots and fake accounts make up less than 5% of the active user base, because Musk couldn't take Twitter's word for everything. It appears that Twitter is trying its very best to conceal information, and Musk deserves to see the in-depth information, but it's obvious that it won't be happening anytime soon. Twitter also claims that Musk is using unfair tactics to back out of the deal for a very big reason. Most of his wealth is tied to his stake in Tesla, the biggest electric vehicle company. Its stock has fallen according to Twitter management, so buying Twitter has become unfeasible for Elon. At the request of Twitter, the Delaware Chancery Court's chief, Judge Kathleen McCormick, has set a hearing to speed up the trial. Speaking of Judge Kathleen McCormick, she's the judge overseeing the Elon Twitter lawsuit. She also has the distinction of being one of the few jurists that have ordered a reluctant buyer to close a US corporate merger. It was no longer than a year ago that Kathleen McCormick took over the role as Chancellor, or Chief Judge, in the Court of Chancery. She was assigned the Twitter lawsuit in July of 2022. All eyes are on Kathleen, as she handles one of the biggest legal showdowns that we've seen in years. Only time will tell how she handles the case. To be fair, Judge McCormick has built up a reputation as a soft-spoken, amiable, and approachable judge that also stands her ground. She advocates a sense of respect among litigants and integrity at legal conferences. So, nothing to worry about there. But there are a lot more juicy twists and turns to go around. Right before pulling out of the Twitter deal, Elon allegedly texted the CEO of Twitter, Parag Agrawal, on June 28, 2022. Musk complained to the CEO of the company that Twitter's lawyers were planning to stir up some considerable trouble for him. This was after the fact that the company's lawyers tried to acquire financial details from Musk for finalizing the acquisition of Twitter. Musk stated in the texts that the company's lawyers were trying to use his conversation to cause serious trouble and that this needs to stop before it gets out of hand. Musk sent this message after Twitter asked Musk how he was going to go about financing the Twitter deal. A few days later, Twitter went ahead and sued Musk after he decided to back out of the $44 billion takeover deal. The official statement by the company in Delaware's Court of Chancery was issued sometime in July. It stated that Twitter is bringing this action to enjoin Musk from further breaches, to compel Musk to fulfill his legal obligations, and to further the consummation of the merger upon satisfaction of a few outstanding conditions. Twitter hopes that pressurizing Musk would compel him to pay the $54.20 per share of the company. Twitter is being repped by the M&A powerhouse law firm Wachtell, Rosen & Katz and Lipton. But Elon doesn't agree. and he has some A-grade lawyers up his sleeve too. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe.